Realistic or chaotic, Veli answer?
Don't fuck with me, boy.
Realistic or chaotic, Veli answer? I said it yesterday, and I'm actually holding on to it. I fully would like to see FaZe Clan
do it.
go off.
Oh my God.
I love rockets, bro.
This leads us into our next topic. Do we really think, though, that this team has much more legs right now in terms of making it through the closed qualifier? Well,
Why do you ask that?
Because people tune into the show, believe it or not just to hear regurgitated opinions.
What's
from
their
Sideshow.
matchup?
They actually
Luminosity?
It's LG, man. I think this is doable. I'm gonna let you
they
speak
can
first,
win
Dean.
against LG, and I'm an LG fan.
Go ahead,
I
Jim,
don't
because
know,
you were wondering who it
man.
was. I think you agree with me that since it's LG, I think it's doable.
It's the play styles.
I don't know. I mean, I think that okay. So if Cookie Koala shows up and like everyone's at a 10, obviously it's doable. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, but I think LG is pretty nuts right now. I think they're consistently performing and able to do what they want to do. And I think that LG, I mean, really the only thing that I think would be a problem is the fact that Cookie Koalas does play kind of goofy with the shotgun, not in like a bad way. But that might be something that genuinely like throws LG off, and they need to be prepared for that. But as far as just dealing with people that play fast or people that play aggressive, I don't think LG is afraid of that at all. I don't think they're going to have a problem with that at all.
Armin versus Moose.
They're going to put
we'll
they're going to put DHBK in a position where, you know, the DHBK are going to play aggressive but not have the information. Luminosity really going to try and restrict their access to that and make it pretty easy to lure them into some nasty situations. I think that would that's probably what they're going to attempt.
Yeah. I think that the key is going to be Thief isolating those 1v1s. If you could do that and beat out their best players, I think that's going to be absolutely key. You can't have screw faces of, you know, the world's running around getting loose, right? You got to help out, you know, your other players on your roster. I think Thief is going to be the X factor here.
I think the winning factor for DHBK or Cookie, sorry, fuck, now that Veli says it all the time, fucking messing it up.
Cookie cutters.
Koala, the Koala, whatever, right? So I think the winning factor for them is because they kind of already know like a play style of LG, not only from watching VCTs or whatnot, but they've seen the evolution of LG because these players, we're talking about Ange, for example, that played with Rise before, Anderson that did with Slimer Burgerman, Screwface, MMG, like all these guys are in tier 2. And when we had the conversation of LG playing a lot of tier 2 events before we had the conversation of them being in the tier 1, well, where did they face against each other? Where did they watch each other? Nursery Gamers Monthly, like the Pittsburgh Gauntlet Knights, like all that kind of stuff. Like these teams and these players have probably studied or played against each other before. So I think that winning factor is like kind of like knowing that play style, playing against them before, knowing how they play now by studying the VODs, they could still find ways to like get into that anti-stratting capability.
I agree.
TSM haven't beat Gen G in quite a while. And last time we saw these two play against each other, Gen G has found a burst of pace, I think, that we didn't see in the pre-Kusta era. Gen G really formulaic, really reactive, really sort of retake-oriented team. They played like much more aggressively. They really used sort of rotations through the middle of ascent to try and pressure TSM. How does this one go? Because obviously, you know, this is a tough one for TSM to have to go up against, having already dealt with with Gen G. What was an incredible game, really, really good series last time these two played. I think it's 2-1 in favor of Gen G. But what are our thoughts on this matchup?
Win. No, I'm talking about the player. I'm being dead serious. I think just like how I called out the last series that we spoke about. I think Win and Sean are the most important people for Gen G, and I think Win is going to be the number one guy. Sean, we know what we're gonna expect from Sean, but when before, he was so off and on, especially with the op and jet, off and on. Like he could go 9-20 and then 20-9. But then the fact is, we're not expecting him to go 1-1 with Wardell. We're not expecting that. If he's able to pick out the other duelists like Drone and Sub Rosa, right? Like that's gonna continue to help out players like Sean and the rest of that roster to win. But I still think it's going to be all on his back because to me, I think he puts in some of the hardest work in his role. And as long as he stays consistent, the team is going to win. Because the rest of them, I have full faith in them. I love what they do. Who's in them? Shit, come on.
No, I do agree. I think at the same time, like Sean has really not necessarily improved because he's back at the form that we expect him to be when he first joined Gen G. Then now Kusta, who seemed a little bit off when he first started, but again, it's one of those players that just made the switch from Counter-Strike into Valorant, playing super well now. They've been very aggressive in their last games and putting good results. Wins, like as you were mentioning before here, Veli, like he's actually landing some good shots with the operator versus TSM, as they have like this rivalry from like the beta days. Like we wanted. Like talking to Taylor, for example, the coach, he was like, man, it kind of sucked for First Strike that we couldn't have Gen G in there because they're like one of the staple rosters that you expected for them to make it through, and they didn't. Now they have a chance to make it close, but now they have to play against TSM first. Thankfully, for looking at this though, guys, it's at least it's a double elimination, right? So I just want a good matchup. For me, it doesn't matter who loses this one because I still want to see these two teams move forward. But I think Gen G might be able to edge TSM in this series.
We're getting close to 3 hours now. So what I want to do is move on to the more interesting part of this segment is where we have to decide what 4 teams qualify through. So I can remind you what the bracket looks like if you need to be reminded. Obviously, it's double elimination.
Yeah.
Now, last time we tried to do this, we're just never going to get a consensus. So I'm changing the format. This time, we are choosing a team. One of us gets to choose a team and justify it. If your team gets chosen, bad luck, choose another one. We start with Dream, so there's the least chance of getting fucked up before he gets to someone who actually knows what he's talking about. So, obviously, who do you think, Dream, is going to be like the most likely team to qualify through Masters, through this bracket at least, and why?
I don't know. I would say I'm gonna say LG. Because to me, because it's double elim, right? What's important is you have to win 2 series, right? As long as you win 2 series before you lose 2 series, it doesn't matter who you play, like you get there. At LG, I think it has been consistently a top 4 team in NA. I think even if you try and counter-strat them and watch all their VODs, because there are a plethora of VODs, there's only so much you can do when you just can't fucking shoot back, bro. Like that's LG's just going to do it to you. So especially with what I would consider probably the clearest first round matchup, like I feel pretty confident that LG will take that, and that's one of their 2 dubs. I feel like it's a pretty safe path for LG to be able to make it to Masters, in my opinion.
Right. So that safer matchup ostensibly gets them halfway there. That's fair enough, Dream. Okay, so LG locked in. Veli, you get to choose now. Who do you think is maybe you can even look at the other side of the bracket if that makes it simpler. One of the second most likely team to qualify here.
Realistic or chaotic, Veli answer?
Don't fuck with me, boy.
Realistic or chaotic, Veli answer? I said it yesterday, and I'm actually holding on to it. I fully would like to see FaZe Clan
do it.
Go off.
Oh my God.
I love Rockets, bro.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Like, even though like I even poke my fun against FaZe Clan, I don't think the team is bad, man. Like, as long as Baby Bay is alive and kicking,
You
like
one job. You just
on.
had to not fuck this up. One job.
FaZe is my pick. I'm rocking with them. Marv and the boys.
Okay.
They doing it. Shout out to Corey.
Okay. You do realize, right? You're talking about the team that played their style, lost, and said we're still going to play this style until we die, right?
Yes.
That's okay.
That's how I live my life.
Wait, that's respectable. What do you mean?
That's so respectable.
It is respectable, but I think the recalcitrance or reluctance to, I don't know, adapt maybe gives me that's chaotic evil, by the way. Let's just make that very clear. Vance, I'm giving you the harder job because I actually trust you to be able to make an informed decision here. I think that Gen G get through the lower bracket. So I agree with where Dream is going. I think that Gen G maybe struggle up against LG, but I think that Gen G squeeze out a win against like, I don't know, like a 100 Thieves or like a T1 or someone like that.
Interesting.
In the lower bracket. I think I've been really impressed in their evolution already with Kusta on board. It's an addition to firepower. Even though we initially didn't actually think it might make that big a difference. All respect to player 1, of course, and hopefully that he continues to succeed on V1. But I was you know, very, very impressed with how they had evolved against TSM in that matchup. And they're the kind of games you need to be winning consistently here. Competition maybe isn't quite as staunch, but I think they'll get through.
Top 2 in this bracket, Uber.
Holy fuck, man. Now you guys put me in a position where no matter what team I choose between TSM, 100 Thieves, or T1, I'm going to make some of the pros mad at me of like why they're not on this fucking list of who we think is going to qualify to Masters.
Yeah, that might have been intentional.
Okay, so I'm going to have to go with a safe bet over here, in my opinion, and my safe bet is probably going to have to be fuck.
That's hard. There's 2 safe bets.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I'm gonna have to go against Veli. I think that T1 is gonna be the one that's gonna be able to improve. And like, to the same logic as Dream, is that if they ever already make it into the semi bracket upper, they might have a better chance to move forward into the lower bracket 3. I know they have to play against a TSM and they have to play against 100 Thieves. For me, 100 Thieves, like I said, I think this might be a gamble, where in the long run it may pay off, but I think they might potentially fall out short with such a drastic change in a short-term notice and how they have to flex into different agents right now. And as TSM are still trying to find themselves, as they're looking better to be able to have a Sentinel back in the roster, where I would like to be proven.
I thought you were going to choose TSM.
I know. To be honest, dude, I thought I was going to choose TSM as well. I hope they watch the full VOD and not just the clip before I get unfollowed by other fucking pros.
Nobody's hitting the first strike champions to make it to Masters, bro.
I know. We don't have the first strike champions nor the runner-ups in there. That's fucking crazy. I can't believe
that would be nuts. That would be a super interesting storyline if that is how it plays out.
But that's real life. That's what's happening right now, though. No. You had a really strong argument. I say you fucking keep it. I like your T1 pick.
I don't know. Like I said, I still like the winning ways of TSM that they're back though with the Sentinels, though.
Can I say something, Vansili? This is one of the few times where I see you just not pick a super easy answer and actually like spit some real shit about an underrated team. I say you stick with T1. No, I really like the T1 pick. I'm being completely honest.
All right.
Okay. Vansili, just, now that you've said that, just maybe for think about the fact that these are paid professionals representing a big org, also playing the biggest tournament in VALORANT, and that happens to be their last chance. Seems obvious that TSM are just lost and nothing to do with not trying. Okay. So,
yeah. They let off the gas for the VCTs.
Look, if anything, I'm looking forward for the rematch of T1 and 100 Thieves of First Strike. So that could be a good way to fucking prove me right that they're coming back with fucking a vengeance against 100 Thieves. If I'm wrong, more power. I just want, you guys know me. I want all these teams to fucking play. But if I want to take a hot take this time, T1's it.
Okay, I need to answer this quickly. Everyone's like, why is it Gen G over TSM / 100 Thieves? Maybe not. I think that they already beat TSM. I don't think it's because TSM were bad either that they beat them, right? So yes, that doesn't mean that Gen G are objectively a better team in every aspect than TSM. No, but they definitely outplayed them. They definitely demonstrated an evolution in their play style. They brought in a much better pace and a better understanding of how to make rotations. Sorry, like the numbers speak for themselves. You can't just be like, it's just a fluke that they beat. Like,
ain't lying, y'all.
Improved as a team. The fact of the matter is they're always going to be. We can only pick 4 teams, right? So a few of these are going to fall through. There are probably 7 teams that we could make a strong case for making.
Oh my god!
All right,
why not just all 8, motherfucker?
He's leaving out FaZe Clan.
Oh my god, man! Uber.
Listen, I think that I'm not very. I guess I'm not receptive to teams that feel very strongly about imposing their will on the game and the meta, as opposed to sort of understanding that they are being carried along with the tide of it and need to adapt. I think that I want to see adaptation because that demonstrates a belief that they can actually learn something from their opponents, as opposed to just maybe projecting their failures onto other areas outside of it. Like they need to own that their style is not yielding the best results so far, and they can keep playing this way. That's fine. It's just like we have to temper our expectations. If a team shows an unwillingness to adapt, now that's just outwardly. Who fucking knows? Like FaZe could be definitely working on a ton of other stuff, and I don't know that. But if they are acting the way that they imply publicly, then like I know you're not going to climb up my totem pole of teams. It's just reasonable. I mean, I'm just trying to be reasonable, even
realistic.
though. Yeah, a little bit for now. I mean, I probably want them to succeed more than anyone else because I have existing biases because they're friends of mine.
Yeah.
It also means I'm extra hard on them. So that's the kind of double-edged sword.
That makes a lot of sense.